folks.
Yeah,
two of them. Count
two. Count them 1, 2. You can do it. All right, here we go. Record. There we go. Okay, in 3, 2, 1.
Try a handsome new, gleaming new 9...
Why did it stop? And do it again.
Try a handsome new, gleaming new 9-passenger Beauville. For shopping, for hauling a full load of kids to a picnic, you name it, the Beauville fills the bill.
Oh, yum, M&M.
The Morning Stream. Let's do the time warp again.
Good morning and welcome to TMS. That's right, it's Halloween. It's October 31st, 2024, and we are your spooky hosts, Scott Johnson and Brian Ibbett. Boo! Pretty scary, right? It was scary. What we just did.
Yeah. I've even taken, I guess I should put on, I wore it for the pre-show. I should wear it for at least part of the actual show. I'll put on the...
Yeah, it's Stitch, everybody. Look at this.
This really is the business part of the costume, because all of this is just little Stitch drawings, like I'm a cave, and one of the cavemen saw Stitch.
Yeah, it's like Stitch is Post Malone, but instead of writing other stuff on himself, he wrote his name all over himself and his own image all over himself.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great if Post Malone just covered himself with pictures of Post Malone,
yeah,
like his own faces and stuff.
I might worry about him a little if he did that, but yes, he should do it. But that looks great. You look like Stitch, except for the man face hanging out the bottom. Other than that, I was fooled.
Yeah,
I was totally
look like
fooled.
Stitch just ate the guy pumping gas into your car in New Jersey. That's what it looked like.
Wow, a combination I had not considered before today's show. That's awesome.
Big thanks to JK and Sarah Grammer for this awesome onesie that I told them right off the bat, I'm wearing this on Halloween as soon as they offered it or gave it to me. I'm like, all right, cool, thank you.
Nice. Did you happen to see yesterday?
Yes,
Did you happen to see Carter's Furiosa last night? I'll put it up so you can see.
Oh no! Look at that!
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
She wore it for.
Why did she have the? Why did she have the?
She didn't wear it. She just held it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Oh, that looks great. Did she wear? So she wore that for the Monday show.
Yeah, she wore at least the face part, and then the head part,
Nice.
and then the face part she just put on for a little.
So somebody in your
thing.
family can do stuff for Halloween. That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, Kim
Awesome.
too. Kim's also gonna do stuff today. Everybody's got dress up plans. I was gonna wear a wig and do something, but I don't know. I got busy, and then this morning was crazy, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna dress like I dress, and it's fine.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway, happy Halloween, everybody. I hope you're having a good
Congratulations to the Dodgers winning the World Series, despite the actions of some stupid Yankee fan.
I missed
Did you see that video?
No, I missed the thing with the. Oh, was it the one trying to pull the glove, take the thing out of the glove?
Yes, pull the ball out of the glove. Like the guy is like the most punchable face too. Like that guy has a very punchable face.
Yeah, I saw that, and everybody kept doing memes like, this is me on my last day in Target trying to buy I don't know. They would always try to compare it like
Black
somebody
Friday at Walmart.
It was always jokes like that, but the World Series is a big deal, man. And the Dodgers, I don't feel like they haven't been in there in a while. Is it just me?
Yeah.
Feels like they haven't been in there in a while, but I guess it's been not that many years ago.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
But Tom and Eileen got to watch it from their hotel in Korea, and they were kind of in the middle of the night watching it. And there's some really fun pictures of them up on Instagram.
Up in the middle of the night watching a baseball game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
Massive Dodgers
It's good
fans.
that they're both into it, because that would be Tina would, the Mammoth would be the only thing that I'd even consider doing that for if the Mammoth were in the finals. I mean, his team wasn't even in the World Series. He's a St. Louis guy, not an LA or a New York guy. But
I think he'll default to whoever the underdog is once St. Louis is out of the running. But you're right, though. He's St. Louis until they lose, which is often.
If Tina's sleep was interrupted by me watching a middle of the night game, sports of any kind, I think I'd be having to get a second hotel room. I think would be the deal.
Well, there's no such thing as a free hotel room. Get that guy. I don't know if he's in the chat.
Sorry about that, ST Monkey.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. Anyway, we're glad to be here. We hope you have big plans tonight and you have fun ideas planned. All your kids are excited, all that stuff, because it's Halloween, damn it. And we're here to bring you a show on this fine Halloween. Real quick here. I already told the story, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to talk about this. Frost
Did
MN.
you tell that story?
I told it yesterday on the Monday show, and I totally forgot to talk about it.
Okay.
It was a stupid thing anyway. Basically, the bottom line of it was I yelled a noise outside, and I swear it caused somebody's car alarm to go off.
What are you, Black Bolt?
I went, meh, like that, and I heard the car go whir, 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 immediately after I did it. So I was sure I did it. So later we tested it, and I yelled again, same exact tone and everything.
Really?
It didn't work.
It didn't do it. Okay,
No,
all right.
just timing. Anyway, I was afraid I was going to piss off my neighbor. Frost MN wrote in, this is about the abacus. We've had, for whatever reason, multiple discussions about abacuses.
Yeah, abacus discussion really is carried on a lot longer than anybody would have expected.
Abaci, as you said very astutely last time we talked.
That's right. Yes.
Says here, hey, Slider and Beads. That's pretty good. I was listening to the discussion on abacuses. You mentioned the Incan Yapuna, Yapana, I think is how they say
Yupana.
it. Yupana. If you've been watching the most recent season of the new Futurama series, the knotted Quipu Bender finds the ancient computer program where used, I guess it was used probably, for record storage at the time when the Yupana, At the time with the Yupana for arithmetic.
So the knotted Quipu that Bender finds with the ancient computer program.
Yeah,
where
used.
That's where things go off the rails.
Yeah, it's the where. That ain't supposed to be in there. Anyway, I've not. The point, the main point I wanted to get to is I am embarrassingly behind now on Futurama, and that's lame because it's one of my favorite series of all time, top 3 shows ever. And why wouldn't I be keeping up with that? I'm literally these 2 new seasons. I'm 2 behind.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Explain that.
Wow.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm on episode 7 of the new season, and man, it goes places with. I mean, it's always pointed out social commentary, but this fashion episode with Professor Farnsworth, or what do they call him, Professor Farns. Some little play with his last name for fashion. And these disposable clothes, really goes some weird places.
All right, I need to catch up. Got to get in there. Have they talked about Have they done a send up in these 2 new seasons of I don't know, NFTs or AI or any of that crap yet? That's gotta be a thing.
Yes, they actually absolutely have, and Squid Game. They did a little send up of Squid Game.
Fantastic.
That's
great.
Dipping their toes into the pop culture zeitgeist is what they are.
That's what they do. They do it better than anybody else, as far as I'm concerned.
Good news,
well, thank you, Frost MN, for that little follow-up. We got a fun Halloween thing here from, let's see, who is this from? This is from Pete from North Carolina. Pete says this. Pete from NC here. Do pie in the Discord. With some new info on one of our favorite horror movie classics. Tony Todd owns Hollywood. And also bees, apparently. Rock On Guys and Phil Fish Lesh. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, Rip Phil Lesh.
Rip.
Why did I was thinking of our guy.
Flip Fish Leesh? What did you say?
I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking of, what I was thinking? I was thinking of our own guy, Lucky Phil, for some reason.
Lucky Phil, oh yeah.
I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense.
Well,
all right, check
Phil
this
Lesh,
out.
The Grateful Dead passed away. Yeah, let's see the
graphic. Oh, he did?
did?
When did he die? Was that recent?
2-3 days ago, yeah.
Oh, I missed it.
Friday, Saturday, I think.
I wonder if there's a coverville coming that'll do something.
There isn't.
Oh, all right then.
It's hard for me to do Grateful Dead covers because nobody wants to cover a 12-minute song.
Makes sense. All right. So we're talking about Tony Todd, famous for his Candyman character, right?
Yeah.
Or at least one thing he did. He's a fantastic actor in lots of things. But anyway, here's what he sent me. This is the graphic that has text on it. It says, one of the most disturbing behind-the-scenes facts about Candyman is that real bees were used in the scene where bees emerged from Candyman's mouth. A thing we bring up on the show all the time. I'll shoot bees out of my mouth. Star Tony Todd wore only a dental dam to protect himself so the bees would not fly directly down his throat. But he was stung many times. Quote, I negotiated a bonus of $1,000 for every sting during that bee scene. And I got stung 23 times. 23 grand. Everything that's worth making has to involve some sort of pain, says Todd. And yeah, remember this? Here's a closer shot of him doing it. But
real freaking bees. Yeah, dental dam or not, I don't think it's covering the inside front of his mouth, like that soft area where your lips, between your lips and your teeth and stuff, which
I know, it's horrifying. Can you imagine?
It is absolutely horrifying.
I'm not sure 1,000 per sting is enough. I may have pushed for more if I were Tony Todd's people.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's awesome, though. I love this stuff.
No way anybody these days is doing that. It is so totally CGI bees.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Are you kidding me? Not just to save the money, but to just like why?
Tom Hardy's not saying, yeah, I'll use real bees. About $1,000 for every time I get stung.
Imagine putting like a freaking handful of bees in your mouth. I don't care how your dental dam is. Gross. Brian, back real quick. Yes. Let me swing back to the Phil Lesh thing.
Yeah.
So I know a few people that consider themselves deadheads. Never really your thing, right? Not really your jam.
No. I like the greatest hits. I'll be honest. I'm a fair weather Grateful Dead fan. No desire ever to go to a Dead show, or Dead and Company, or the Phil Lesh and Friends, or any of the other iterations that have come through. But I like Ripple. I like Casey Jones. I like there's easily about 10 songs of theirs that I like, and they're all conveniently on the Grateful Dead Greatest Hits album.
So and I guess you answered my main question, which is, have you ever been to a Dead concert? But what was the draw? Yeah. Why was that such a thing? Or even still now, people talk about the Dead like it was a holy time of.
Yeah, I mean it was a community of people who liked something so much and loved the community around them that whenever that thing would occur, they'd make sure that they were there for it. And you kind of get, we have a tiny little bit of that with Frog Pants meetups, the Southeast meetup, TMS Vegas, Nerdtacular, whatever event we would put together, we have friends in this community that will do whatever they can to be there for it.
Were they close to their people like that? You know what I mean? Because you and I we'll go to one of these things, like we'll go to Vegas, and we almost know everyone. We're all talking.
No.
I assume it's not like that with them.
But the people know each other, and it's you'd see people at the communities trading tapes and that sort of thing of shows that people couldn't make it to. It's like, oh yeah, did you not go to the Roanoke show? Oh, here's a copy of the tape of the Roanoke show. Check it out. And you get that. You don't get quite the following that you do with the Grateful Dead with bands like String Cheese and Fish and stuff like that. But it's pretty darn close. Like, instead of saying, I'm going to go to every stop on their tour, you get the people who say, yeah, when they come to Denver for 3 days, we're going all 3 nights.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
That
makes sense to me. Being a roadie is different than being or not a what do they call them? Roadies, right? The ones that follow everybody around, or is it
groupies? Groupie. Yeah, roadies do follow them around, but they're paid to lift amplifiers. And stuff.
they're setting up and tearing down. I always mix those two up. But if we have any actual groupies in our listening audience who have been active groupies of some band, could you write in and tell us about it? Because I'm curious about that. I don't know anyone personally who's like a go everywhere the band went.
There's probably a better term, because when I think groupies, I think almost famous. I think of the women that really do everything they can to kind of get backstage with the band and perform services for the band. What's her face? Plaster Caster. What's her face?
Right. Yeah.
For the Grateful Dead, it's your Deadheads. It's for Joe Diffie, it's the Diffie Cult.
Diffie Cult. I like
the
that.
Diffie Cult. I just like that name.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you a single song by Joe Diffie, but I love the fact that his fans are the Diffie Cult.
Yeah.
The Gaga has her Little Monsters. Swifties for Taylor Swift.
Who do you get for who like the Kiss ones? They were probably just groupies.
Oh, the Kiss Army.
Kiss Army. Right.
Yeah, the Kiss Army.
So every kind of legendary band has some nickname for them.
But I'm trying to think. Did the Beatles have? There weren't really.
They were called Ringos. Ringo Stars. Just followed them around everywhere,
Yeah.
Wait, so let's see. Beatles. What would they have been? Beatniks or Beatlites?
Beetleheads. I mean, it almost was. It was before they came and went. I think before that was really a thing to have a fan base name. So they were probably just Beatles fans.
How about the Stones?
Beatlemaniacs?
Was the Beatlemaniacs? Oh, that might be. But I just thought that was like generally just people that were just huge Beatles fans. That's different than following them around. But what do the Stones have?
Stones, I don't think had one either. And you think they they must, because they've been around for so long that they may not have had a term for Stones fans at the beginning, but they have to have them now. Like, people have to.
Oh yeah, right.
You go to a concert and you're like, oh yeah, no, this is where all the stoners sit. Which is suggested by a couple people.
Stoners would work, sure.
Stoners would be great. I think that's also the Snoop Dogg fan club.
Yeah, that's what we called those kids in high school out by the cars during lunch.
The Afro Man followers, the people who attend every Afro Man concert.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I know we have tadpoolers, but is that enough? We need something that's kind of lascivious. We need some like...
Somebody suggested tadpooligans as the upper echelon of...
It's not bad.
Like, if you do something when we come to your town, like if we go to Vegas and you live in Vegas and you come to that, but you don't necessarily go to any other events like Dracula or anything like that, then you're a tadpooler. If you come, if when we go to a town and have a meetup thing, you also go to that town, fly there from wherever you're at, you're a tadpooligan.
Tadpooligan. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. We've officially recognized the tier of Tadpooligan. The Tadpooligan tier is now real, and you get your membership card. We don't take any of those weird services Brian alluded to before at the bands.
No, please. No. We drew on a boob, and that's about as far as we're going to go on this one.
I'll draw on your boob. I may even look away while I do it, but I'll do it.
Barry always said that if you create a hierarchy of tier levels for something, he will always do whatever the top one is.
Yeah, he's an MVP or a VIP. Always the VIP.
That's right. Yes, exactly.
I love that about Barry. He'll also tell you which wine to drink. All right, let's see here.
He will.
We need to get, speaking of Tadpooligans, we're going to get Monica in here. She's going to join us. And I thought I had this ready, and I don't. So let's click her name. Here we go. I don't have any good
little horror theme music
here.
deal.
I mean, I have this thing I've been playing lately, which I kind of like. Let's try it. This has got like this is the one the fan made with his friends, and it's got a vampire-y thing coming up. Oh, scary, like 1980s synth scary. And that's good because guess who's joining us? Yes, that's right. You heard it. You know it. It's Monica, a.k.a. Wicked Kitten, a Tadpooligan among us. And she joins us now, as she does not often enough, to talk about horror movies. Monica, welcome.
You're not in your usual set. You're not in this. Usually you're on your set that's got like all the VHS tapes and the red light and all that stuff.
Yeah, you're usually in the room that looks like the Mandy set. What happened?
Well, I'm in a hotel room right now.
Oh,
I'm taking
right.
a vacation.
You're doing you went to the con the horror con, right?
How'd that go? What's the horror con?
Yes.
Tell us more about that.
Yes, I went to Chiller Theater Con, which is here in New Jersey in one of the towns I can't pronounce. And I saw some famous people. I didn't approach them because they charge a lot of money for those autographs, I saw John Cusack. He was looking pretty rough.
Looking rough, was he? Okay. What do you mean by rough? Let's get into the definition of rough. Was he just looking old? Was he looking tired? Is it like he didn't want to be there? Like, what do you think that was going on there?
Yes.
Okay. All those things.
I'm going to say yes. And I feel like we weren't the only ones that thought so, because there were some other people who were having a conversation about how he looked rough and like he was wearing a baseball hat and he looked like, he hadn't slept and things like that. And it's like, you're going to pay $100 for a picture with John Cusack and he's going to look like,
$100. Jeez, he gets a good rate. That's really good.
He does. Yeah.
I thought the
I don't know
going
if that's
was
how
like
much it is. We didn't.
Would he do it if I gave him a pen?
Yeah, would he? Do you get it? Do you get the reference? No? All right. Hey, no. Monica, here's the fun part about you going there. You're a big horror fan. You have a show called Gore. We talk about horror stuff all the time, and we've watched some horror things together on what we used to do with couch parties, all that sort of stuff. So we're having you on Halloween to make some recommendations. And I think by the pulse of the nation, I can kind of glom onto the idea that this has been a good year for horror, right? You got Smile 2.
It's always a good year for horror.
Well, every year's pretty good, and every year it feels like somebody says, "Oh, there's this standout horror movie or whatever." But I don't know why. It just feels like at least 2023 through 2024 been a strong, couple of years.
Yeah,
strong 24 months.
Sequel. You got and you got Maxine, the third part of that whole series.
Mm-hmm. Lots of good stuff. You got that Late Night with the Devil, which I finally watched, by the way. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of thoughts on it.
All the movies that I was going to talk about.
You can still talk. You can still talk about them.
We just said their names. We just marqueed them.
Yeah, we just marqueed them. That's a good way of putting it. Here's what I was going to say something real quick about that movie, though. Do not watch that movie late at night, even though it says late night, because it's creepier at night. I think I should have watched that in the daytime because it really got under my skin and I wasn't even sure I was going to like it. I got halfway through it going, this is a little overblown. I'm not sure this is as good as everyone says it is. And then that thing goes places, and you're like, holy mother of shit. Woo! Yeah. Anyway, so Monica, lay it out for us. What are your recommendations?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had like a whole plan of what I was going to say. And
you can say whatever you want.
Can I?
The floor is yours.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, for those of you who know who I am, I usually come on. This is my 3 years I've been coming on for Halloween, and 3 to 4 times throughout the year. And after this, I'll be on monthly on the Friday show. So I wanted to make sure people become patrons so that they can come and watch me on the Friday shows.
That's right. If you want to hear her, I mean, we'll still do the Halloween thing no matter what. But if you want to hear TMS Fridays with just a little Monica sauced in there every month, oh man, I'm so excited. Yeah. She's also here for play dates. So you hear her scrambling to fit people into teams and get them all lined up and all that. It's awesome.
God. We could not do Playdate without her. Just her level of organization and being able to manage all that is indispensable.
Cat herding.
Yep. Cat herding.
And I don't just want to come on and talk about recommendations of horror movies, because that will probably get a bit tired. But I also want to come on, and when I have topics to talk about, I don't know, if somebody slanders one of my favorite movies, like Puppet Master or something, I come on and just.
I was wondering when I saw your defense of it in the Tadpool a couple of days ago. I was wondering if we were going to hear about that. So all right, okay, let me have it.
Yeah, tell us why we were wrong about Puppet Master.
Defend that thing.
Yeah.
All right, look, it's a classic, Blue Moon Entertainment, Full Moon Entertainment movie. It was meant to be, out on video, so it's cheaply made, but it's just got heart. And if you get to the third movie, that movie is really something special. And so,
that's what I hear. I hear the
puppets
lore
are so
really
cute.
picked
Blade
up
is so freaking.
Oh yeah, he's adorable. Look at him. Look at all these guys. Pinhead with his little head.
Kinski looking Blade, and I never realized that Pinhead's eyes were kind of Picasso-y, like one high and one low.
Yeah, it's
Pinhead's
he's got the little pointy eyes.
Yeah, he's the little guy.
I'm not talking about Blade's pointy eyes. I'm talking about how Pinhead's eyes, one looks high and one looks low.
Oh,
he looks like he may have gotten poked in the eye by Screwhead over here.
The tunneler.
Yeah,
sure.
The tunneler. I can never remember his name, but he's got a Hershey's Kiss on his head is what that looks like to me.
And another topic I'll glaze on real quick is glaze on. But not long ago when I was guesting, I talked about The Invisible Man, right, at some other request.
Yeah.
And Brian brought up, well, will there be anything with the Dark Universe? And I'm here to tell you, Lee Whannell, who made The Invisible Man, he has The Wolfman coming out in January, and then James Wan is in development for Creature from the Black Lagoon. So we're going to get some cool Dark Universe
I'm
stuff.
a little bit nervous about all that.
Resurrected it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, me too. I the thing though, Brian, is can they? All right, these are the names you just said. James Wan, these other guys. These are premier directors, writers, producers of horror content. Have been for a while. They've established themselves as this generation's go-to guys. They make amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Great TV projects, movie projects, all that stuff. So I really do trust them. They're, Flanagan's another one. All these, if you mention their names, I'm like, oh, and I pique my interest. I just not so sure the Universal thing has a connection outside of really old people who are on the verge of death. The creature from the Black Lagoon, you're going to have to reinvent in a way because no one has real connections to that. I mean, we do from memories, but I'm not like, oh, my favorite horror movie growing up. No, it was my grandparents' favorite horror movie.
Got Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Like, look how few people had ever heard of Guardians of the Galaxy before the MCU pulled them in. I think you're just basically saying, all right, we got a new generation that is going to experience these things. And if they have character crossovers and stuff like that, are we going to get a Dracula meets Seth Rogen and James Franco kind of movie?
Possibly.
I mean, and you got to remember that the way Lee Wanell and James Wan met in when they were young in school, they're friends. They created Saw together. That's where they come from, and then they kind of like separated to make Insidious and Conjuring and all the other movies that they've made. So like maybe they will do something that's like combining. I don't know. Guillermo del Toro made that what's the fish sex movie? That one.
Shape of Water.
That felt like, the recreation of Creature from the Black Lagoon. So I don't know what James Wan would do, but, I'm excited to see. I'm excited. That Invisible Man was just one of my favorite iterations next to the original.
Oh, the newish one with, what's her name?
Elizabeth Moss.
Elizabeth Moss?
No.
Elizabeth
Moss. Yeah.
We had that whole conversation about it.
Yes, we did.
I do not remember if I've seen that. Have I? No, I'm thinking of Hollow Man. I haven't seen it yet. Hollow Man.
I did see it, and maybe I need to give it another chance. Yeah, Hollow Man is.
Yeah.
But I'll say this: the design for the original Creature from the Black Lagoon, I hope they don't change it too much because I still feel like that look holds up. It's a very. It doesn't look the look of the old. God, I can't remember who's in the suit, but the look of the old Creature from the Black Lagoon, I feel like, is still unnerving and weird and. As believable as you could get, and classic, for a fish looking
for a fish guy.
For a fish guy.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. No, they could do
like
it.
Those eyes and the weird.
Yeah. But do you think because these guys come from such horror roots and a lot of their stuff is pretty gory and pretty wild, what do they lean into? General audience happiness, or do you think they lean into let's get edgy with this? This Creature from the Black Lagoon's going to eviscerate this person, like how hard do you think they go, Monica, when this actually happens?
I mean, most of their stuff has been their own, aside from The Invisible Man. And Lee Wanell, he wrote this story that was more traditional with modern times, as opposed to being this story about this man who goes invisible and what would you do if you had this creepy power.
Right.
It's more like from the perspective of the woman. So even just changing the perspective of how the movie is seen, that in itself could be interesting. I don't know what they would do.
What do you think about this, James?
Think about it. You love The Conjuring and the Insidious movies. They know how to make it scary. They know how to do jump scares.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? The Insidious the Conjuring movie is less about shocking moments of either gore or whatever, and more about psychological jumps and that sort of thing. So they probably will find the right mix and do it just fine. But I have faith in it because of it. Have you watched this Teacup thing at all? The new James Wan produced TV show that's on, I want to say Peacock, I think. Yeah, Peacock. Have you seen
Tina
this?
told me, I showed her the trailer, and she said, you can watch that on your own, Brian.
Because Stephen King is praising this thing. He's like, this is
the cast looks great. I want to watch it.
Yeah, me too.
Stephen King likes everything, doesn't he, though?
It does seem like he is pretty...
Stephen King liked that second season of Under the Dome, so I wouldn't take his...
Oh, did he?
I mean, nowadays, I feel like he's very happy about stuff. How much time do I have left?
You have all...
15 minutes.
You got all the time in the world. Tell us more.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so I'm gonna, I'll talk about topics that are fun during my regular segment. So make sure you become a patron of these guys. They're awesome.
We're great.
Come watch me on
We're great. Come get in here.
Yeah.
Everyone's great. Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. But I'll talk about some of the stuff that I've done. So I went to the convention. I already talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
I did see Smile 2. That thing is so jump scare heavy. I was screaming like a maniac in the theater because, well, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Let me ask, before we get too far away from the con, though, you mentioned John Cusack. Is he there because of 1408? Is that his foray into horror enough to make him show up at a...
Actually, there's a few pop culture people that showed up there. So Molly Ringwald was
Okay.
there. She's not in any horror movies.
Unless you call that Fresh
Who else was
Horses.
there?
That's pretty horrible.
There's like some
Pretty horrible.
Yeah.
some
It's got horror in it. No, you know what? That's not true. She's in some horror things, right? Like,
Is she?
maybe I'm thinking
don't
of
think
somebody else. Now that you're saying it, maybe you're right. That
Oh,
seems
Joe
weird.
Geyer says
But-
The Stand.
Okay.
So it's so
but I
like
think people
no
just
pop
go to
culture
cons
folks.
to
Sure,
Yeah.
but
Make
remember,
money.
we would go. Brian and I went to a Star Trek concert in Vegas, or Star Trek convention in Vegas that had like Jaws from James Bond, and the soup Nazi for some reason was there. It's like
Right,
so
right.
they always. This always
Oh, that's
seems
right.
like
She was in The Stand.
the recent,
There you go.
the
Thank
old
you,
one, or
Jeff
the
Fantastic.
the old one or the new
The old one.
I know.
Oh.
I gotta go.
Miniseries.
I gotta go back to that and watch that again.
Huh. Yeah, Space Hunter. That was
Yeah.
pretty horrific.
Maybe that's enough.
Horror.
But
All
there's
right.
like there was like a couple of like I think there was like a Playboy Playmate and like so just people just go there to do signatures. There was one of the Jackass guys was there, which whatever.
Which Jackass guy?
And-
Which guy was it? I'm a fan.
Bam something.
Oh, Bam Margera,
Margera?
really?
I didn't watch the show. Yeah, I don't know anybody.
One of the Beatles is there. Paul something.
Well, in his case, it's he's like the guy that got kicked out of the Beatles because no one
Oh,
likes
he's
him.
the Stu Sutcliffe of
Yeah,
Jackass.
nobody's letting Bam around anymore.
Mira
So.
Sorvino was there.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Love
Oh,
her.
nice. Talking about the Relic, and no, the Relic was the other one. It was
yeah, Relic
Mimic.
was Sizemore. Mimic. There it is.
Mimic. Right. Thank you.
I like
Oh,
Mimic.
I like
Amy Yesbeck was there.
Mira Sorvino, by the way, just like kicked ass in the recent Celebrity Jeopardy season. She is brilliant.
Oh, I
she,
love
like,
her.
Has a
Yeah.
she's Mensa
Love
level
replacement
genius.
killer.
She got screwed out of so many jobs because of what's his name, Harvey Weinstein just
Paul.
screwed
Oh.
her.
I was gonna say Paul Sorvino.
No, her dad was awesome. He was a
Aw.
good dude.
Her dad was awesome, but did they have some problems, or am I thinking of
No.
Voight and?
I think
I guess I'm probably thinking of Voight and Angelina.
Oh yeah, they don't get along very well.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Back to you,
All
Monica.
right, please continue.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this
Amy
about us,
Yesbeck
but
was there.
Amy Yesbeck from Wings.
What? No way.
Or no, Problem Child. Problem Child. Is that who
Yeah.
am I thinking? Amy Yesbeck. Yeah.
That's why you have her come.
She was married to John Ritter
Yes.
Yeah.
before he passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't afford to get everyone's autograph. Like there's a horror host that I watched, Joe Bob and Darcy. They were at the con, and I got a picture with them, me and Dreadlord Wesley, and got their autograph because we're big fans of them,
Nice.
and they're cool people.
Nice.
And so that was my con. And there's lots of like people selling things like memorabilia and shirts and toys, posters, all sorts of things like that, vendors. So it's a fun time. It's a smaller convention, so if you're worried about, lots of people, it's smaller. But we are going to a bigger convention in a week or so, and that's going to be a bit scarier. That one's going to be Monster Mania in Philly, which is just, I'm scared, but we're going to meet Art the Clown.
Oh my gosh.
We're
Is it
going
going to
to
be
meet him.
actual the dude, the guy who plays him?
Yeah, it's going to be the dude.
Really?
Will he be dressed
He
up?
might murder us. I don't know.
Will he be Art? Do you
Yeah.
know? Oh,
gosh.
He's gonna be
man.
Art.
That's awesome. He's very good. Apparently, he's
So if
really
we
good
get
at this
murdered-
whole like showing up at events and stuff and looking super menacing and stuff. He's like the lord of that right now. I'm excited
Yeah,
for
he
it.
had a whole Spirit Halloween commercial that was hilarious. Where he was just going around like
That's great.
Really?
scaring people.
I need to see. That's great.
That
It's
guy,
great.
he
I
said,
saw
I guess I
Terrifier
need to
3,
see
by
a
the way.
Terrifier
Did you see it
movie,
yet?
yeah.
Oh, so I haven't seen 3. I've seen 1 and 2. I will see 3. John went and saw it in theaters by himself, which I think is funny. And he really liked it, like a lot. So what'd you
Yeah.
think of 3? Did they push all the right boundaries for you?
I loved it. There is like, I have such an affection for these movies. Like since the original was like over the top and it was like grimy, but since then they have like really started to fine tune the gore and make it just some of the most over the top, ridiculously comedic, but also still scary as heck.
Oh, yeah.
It's just great.
It's
You're in the movie there,
absolutely
you're
wild.
screaming, you're laughing,
Yeah.
stuff's getting chainsawed. It's great.
It's almost
If you like
like
gore.
it's if you like gory movies, it's 100% for you. And if you like gory movies that don't take themselves too seriously. Like, it isn't gore in a real world sense. It's just ridiculous, but also
over the top,
really gross. Like the chainsaw lady, the saw lady, I'll just call her that, in the first one. Still, I can't get that out of my head. I'll never forget it.
Yeah. Oh, you never will.
Yeah. So, Brian, you should see the Terrifier movies, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're selling them to me really well.
That would be great.
Yeah,
couch
something
party,
that you
but-
just can't, you still can't get out of your head. I don't know if I want that to be something I can't get out of my head.
Yeah, it was absolutely one of the most horrifying scenes of any film I've ever seen in my life. I'll say that.
And I will always take the credit at getting Scott to watch that movie, because I was like, hey, you should watch this movie where this lady gets cut in half.
Yeah, you convinced
But
me.
not
It
the
was,
way you think.
yeah, it was 100% you that convinced me to do it. You're
Not bisected.
Oh, it was bad. Oh my gosh. Did they have to?
It's bad.
You know what I mean? Did they have to do it the way they did it? Is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I've seen plenty of people cut with a saw in my life, in movies. I don't mean in real life. I didn't need to see it that way. It's just something about
That was a feat. For someone like me who loves practical effects, that was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Like, I don't want people to get hurt. You know, I want human beings to be good and nothing to happen to them. But
Sure, of course.
in a movie where you can watch these things, it is amazing what they can do.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
No, I agree. All right, excellent. So there's that. Wait, where were we? Where were we? We have now 10 minutes. Just so you know what the clock says.
We have 10.
Yeah. So you got to
So I'll
cram.
talk about what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
So we have the convention I just said. We're doing that in a week or so. Tonight, Halloween night, I am taking, because Wesley obviously is visiting here in the New Jersey from
Is he
Belgium.
down at the breakfast buffet?
And I'm
Is that-
taking
is that where
him
he's at
to.
He's down there getting extra
I'm
sausage
having like
links
trouble
and-
with my ears, so I keep missing things that you guys
Oh,
are saying. I'm so
are you?
sorry.
Is Wesley down at the breakfast buffet? Is that where he is right now?
No, he's doing IT. He's like next to me.
Oh, he's working. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Doing IT. I like
No,
that.
he's- I mean, for me,
Yeah.
like he's.
There's an
Oh,
arm.
Wesley
Okay.
arm. Wesley.
That's a disembodied Wesley arm.
Yeah. So I am taking him to Kevin Smith's Smodcastle Cinemas to watch a Halloween night showing of House of a Thousand Corpses,
Oh.
which I have never seen before. So it will be my first time around strangers.
It's still the only good Rob Zombie directed film, in my opinion. The rest of his stuff's kind of trash.
That's what
Actually,
I've
you know
heard.
what? I kind of like the Halloween one. Okay, it's okay, has its moments, but most of his movies pretty bad. That one holds up. It's gross and good.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I think you'll like it.
It's I've never been there before, even though I live in Jersey, because
Yeah.
it's it's a little bit of a drive, but
Sure.
it's
We know how you won't drive anywhere, Monica. We've
I don't blame you, dude. Out there in the freaking
those of us in
East Coast.
Southeast meetup know that you won't even make the effort.
it's like 6 hours.
It's a pretty long drive. But also, I wouldn't want to drive in the traffic.
do alone.
I assume your traffic
Yeah.
out there sucks. I've seen enough Sopranos episodes to know what's going on. All right.
It's not California. That's the only thing I can say.
Yeah. Well, no, what
California's
is
the
though?
worst.
Well,
Woke up this morning, not driving down the coast.
Anyway, sorry.
Did you,
Continue on.
Brian? Did you want to do anything, or you want me to fill it in with some other stuff?
I have a quiz. A real quick. I could give you like 5 or 6 questions if you want to do it. Unless there's more stuff you want to talk about that you're looking forward to.
Well, I could just say there's a movie called Heretic coming out, and it's got Hugh Grant in the lead as this creepy guy, and he looks like really creepy.
Hearing
I'm
good
scared
things.
of it.
Yeah.
It's a religious horror movie.
Yeah.
Those
So
freak
look
me
forward
out.
to that.
Yeah, that one's coming out in
And Nosferatu.
a couple of days, or no, this weekend, right? I think Heretic is this weekend.
Yeah. This
Oh, Nosferatu! I'm
think
so
it's this
looking forward
weekend.
to.
I think Kim and I are going to go see Heretic. We'll let everybody know what we think because
I'm about halfway through Maxine
pretty
too.
creepy.
I'm about 1.5 X's through Maxine.
Oh, Maxine is so good.
It is really
You know
good.
how long
yeah.
I was waiting for that movie, right?
Yeah, I want a cast too,
Not
like
long
Kevin
enough, but still.
Bacon and Bridget
Kevin
Monahan,
Bacon is
and
so good in that movie.
yeah,
he is. Yeah,
I need to see it still. That's streaming somewhere, isn't it?
it is. Halsey in
Max.
that movie.
Halsey. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Is it
fantastic.
Halsey or Halsey?
Halsey. I don't know.
I
I
don't
just
know
know it's
either.
an anecdote.
bad
Real name
luck.
Ashley.
I know she did a Diablo commercial. That's all I know, or a music video or something.
She's
Yeah.
Halsey. Yeah,
she
good
is
Halsey.
naked in that movie, by the way.
Sweet.
Maxine.
Let's do it.
Oh, is she
Very,
though, or is it
very
just a plastic.
Is it her or is it the other chick?
Well, Mia Goth is naked. She's always naked.
She's always naked, but I know the British chick, the other one that comes to a sad end with Halsey.
Oh.
I have no idea.
Maybe I'm confusing my women.
She's naked. Anyway.
I mixed Halsey up with the one that was married to Musk. What was her name?
Grimes?
Grimes. I get those two mixed
Grimy.
up. I don't know why. I just do. Anyway, Brian, your quiz. Sorry.
Joe Gaillard, you're so right. The stomp. The first casualty in Maxine. That's one I still feel right now. All right. I'm going to give you some trivia questions on horror sequels. So not the originals, but horror sequels.
Okay. All right.
Can I preface this with I'm not good at quizzes?
Yes.
Well, you better get good.
I feel like we already knew. I think we kind of already felt this or knew this somehow, so it's fine. You're good. Don't worry about
it. Ty West both directed and then disowned what sequel to an early 2000s horror movie? Despite the title, the film abandons the original's rural setting for a high school.
I don't know what this is. What is this?
What?
I'll give you a photo. How's this? Let's see if this helps. Are you able to see Discord too? You probably are, right?
Yeah.
That photo right there is still from the movie.
Okay. I know what it is. Let's see if Monica can get that.
5 seconds, just so we can get to other questions.
Beep, beep, beep.
Is it the one with the bad director from the first one, or did I win?
I don't know.
Did I win?
Ty West directed this one. This is Cabin Fever 2.
Jeepers
Spring
Creepers
Fever.
2. That's what I meant.
Oh, you're thinking Jeepers Creepers. No, this is Cabin Fever 2 Spring Fever.
Which is the sequel to the... No. You know what? Cabin Fever is not that good either. I'll just say it, okay? Come at me, everybody. I don't like Cabin Fever. Take that.
As we saw
I've
recently
not seen
on
part 2.
On Film Sack, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequels are most notable for launching the careers of Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger. But what Oscar-nominated actor played Leatherface's older brother in 1990's Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, 11 years before his most famous role?
Okay. This is, man, you got good questions. What movie was this? The
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. It was called Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 in 1990, and he played Leatherface's older brother. And
in 1990.
He was also very famously in a trio of
Bill
films.
Moseley?
No. Viggo Mortensen.
Ding!
Oh, crap, and I knew that.
Yeah, Viggo Mortensen. I remember that, and I remember at the time thinking, or I remember seeing that later and going, or seeing pictures of it going, hold on a sec, is that Aragorn? Sure enough, it's totally him. Well done, Monica.
Man.
All right, we'll give you a couple more here. The subtitle, you got this one. This one you'll get. Redeem yourself. The subtitle of the infamous Halloween 3 is shared by 2 other supernatural films and a 1966 song by Donovan. What is it? So Halloween 3,
Season of the Witch.
There you go. Nicely done. Ding.
Well done.
Very good.
Good job. Yes. You get points for that.
What horror movie?
Halloween.
What horror movie villain raps the following line over the end credits of his 5th film? From the cliffs of Moher to your front door, you better turn out the lights and pray some more. We're going to party through the night until the dawn, then you and I are going to get it on.
Good Lord. Glad I'm not being
What
asked
horror
this.
movie villain raps that through the end credits of his 5th film?
I have no idea.
The killer from Slumber Party Massacre 2?
The key for that one is the cliffs of Moher.
Oh my God, I don't know.
That's if I did this. From the cliffs of Moher to your front door, you better turn out the lights and pray some more. It's a Leprechaun.
Leprechaun.
Is it the Leprechaun?
Yeah, that little guy was always rapping everything. He's always doing rap shit.
I'm going to get a pronunciation of how to pronounce the cliffs of Moher in 5, 4, 3.
Here it comes.
Via Dems.
Oh, she says I give up. Claire does in the chat. That's funny.
I know, exactly. This low-budget 2003 film was such a splash that unrelated films were later retitled as its sequels, both in 2006 and 2017. This is a tough one.
That's my clue?
That's your clue. This low-budget 2003 film was such a splash. That's a good clue right there. That unrelated films were later retitled as its sequels, both in 2006 and 2017. So.
Oh. Wait, the 06
there was a movie in
me.
2003.
Yeah.
Did well, and then 2 other films they decided to rename them to be blank 2 and blank 3, even though they were unrelated and didn't feature any of the same characters. And Splash is a big.
Oh my god.
This is hard.
Left out in the water, forgotten about.
Left out in the water, forgotten about.
Yeah, a couple scuba.
Scuba?
People scuba diving and they get left out in the water and they get forgotten and left by their boat and they get left out in the open water, forgotten about.
Oh, it's free. I know this. I know this
Open
because
water?
yes, that's it. Well done.
Yes. Is it because I actually said the word, Scott?
It came to me right before you said it, but that also confirmed it. So it was obvious.
What was it?
Very quickly became
Open Water, unrelated sequels, 2006, 2017. Okay, let's find another one here. Let's see. All right. Geographically minded horror fans could tell something fishy was going on in this sequel when a character wins a prize despite not knowing that Brasilia is actually the capital of Brazil. And that's a tough one. Let's skip that one. That's I still know what you did last summer. I saw the answer and thought, oh, she'll know this one, but that is a really deep cut for that one. All right, let's close out with this one. A really, really good one because we're at 10. While most famous for his role in the 1960 original, what actor reprised his role for 3 sequels more than 20 years later? There you go. Well done.
What was it?
Close out with a win.
I missed it. What'd she say?
Anthony Perkins.
Oh, duh. That's a good one. That's a
Came
great
back as Norman Bates for 3 sequels, surprisingly.
None of
that
them.
second sequel is really good.
No, it's no.
No? That second one is good.
Oh.
It is better.
Go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, the attack of the old lady in the kitchen is
spoilers.
alarming. Whatever.
I need to see him again, I guess. I remember those being really bad.
It's like 40 years old. I think I can. And you won't know what I'm talking about.
No.
I guess when you see somebody, an old lady in the kitchen, you might, but that's it.
Yeah, as soon as you see a lady in the kitchen, go, Brian.
You know it's over. Yeah. Brian.
Hey, Monica, tell us where to get gore and why it's such a good show to listen to.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you like horror movies, you'll love Gore because we're all about horror movies. If you don't like horror movies, you can listen to us because we're really funny, I think. But you can check us out at gorepodcast.com. You can also follow me on Twitter and whatnot because I'm Wicked Kitten 13.
Yeah, Wicked Kitten 13. Don't forget it. Write it down. What are you even thinking out there? Monica, have a fantastic time. Enjoy the rest of your con jumping time, and tell Wesley that we love his disembodied arm floating in front of us. It's fantastic. Bye now. All right.
Excellent.
There we go. We're going to take a break. When we come back, my sister will be here. We're going to talk about a thing. We got a follow-up that will create a topic from one of you guys. So thank you for that. That'll be right after this song Brian brought. What do you got there?
Yeah, this is brand new from Miranda and the Beat. They've got a brand new album. It's called Can't Take It. Just came out this last Friday. And this felt right for today. The song is called El Lobo Negro, which means the black wolf. Ooh, scary. Miranda and the Beat. And the song El Lobo Negro.
This Sphinx posture, for example, gives elasticity to the spine and tones up the muscles of the abdomen.
I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker.
And we returned. Who is that again, please?
That is Miranda and the Beat, or Miranda and the Beat. Brand new album is called Can't Take It. Boy, you find it, and it's 3 people wearing leather jackets looking all tough in front of a subway, and they are tough. Miranda and the Beat and the song El Lobo Negro.
That's how you know someone's tough, if they're dressed like
leather
that.
jacket, subway.
Yeah.
Those 2 things. You combine those 2 things. Each of them on their own, not so tough, but boy, you put them together and whoo.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was younger, if I saw that coming up the road,
I mean, here, there you go. You can share that with the tadpole. That's Miranda and the Beat right there.
Oh,
Don't mess with them.
No, look at this, you guys. It's like a theme gang from the Warriors almost, these people.
Come out and moisturize my leather.
Yeah, especially dude in a cowboy hat. He is intimidating. I don't like that at all. Wow.
The other guy just looks confused, like, Which track is the number 13 going east?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Where do I catch that?
I don't know what it is about it is the subway setting that makes me think of Warriors every time. It doesn't matter who you show me in a subway. If it's a grimy subway, I just think Warriors. It's the way it is.
That picture has a smell to it because of that subway.
Oh,
you can smell that photo
for sure. What does it smell like, though? Let's give it the.
Smells like used peppermint chewing gum.
Yeah, that's
spilled
good.
beer
Yep.
and sadness.
Old used chewing gum, peppermint in particular, has a very unique vibe.
It does. Yeah.
I hate that smell so much. Just gum that's been there forever. Whoever had it before chewed it too long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A homeless guy chewed it again, and then they put it under the thing again.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Oh, horrendous. And also what you described, also horrendous.
Also horrendous. Hey, look who it is, everyone. Hold on. Where's my freaking thing for Wendy? Hold on. Where is it? Okay, there it is.
Here's another Minnesota tradition that's not so easy to throw in the garbage.
That's right. My sister Wendy is here. She calls us all the way from the great state of Minnesota. And she's here and she's back after her whirlwind anniversary trip. How did it go, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever had this thought before because I'm too young. But I thought on Monday, maybe I should retire.
Yeah. Why not?
Just that feeling of like, oh, yeah, you should definitely just rest. It was great.
Is it in the
exactly everything?
Was it so? It's like Aruba or something or some kind of crazy.
No,
what was
it's Curacao, which no one's ever heard of. Have you guys heard of Curacao?
I have
I've heard
not.
of Curacao. Yeah.
I've never heard of it. Sounds like an
You're
ingredient.
smart.
I'm worldly, Wendy.
You
I'm
are
worldly. I'm worldly with a lowercase I at the end.
I love it. So you're close, Scott. So the Dutch Antilles are these 3 islands off of the coast of Venezuela, and it's like Aruba.
Yeah.
The ABCs: Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. And Curacao is actually in the middle, which annoyed me. I wanted it to be Aruba. Anyway, and it is beautiful. It's the first canoes essentially were carved out and invented there by the native people. Just wondering, just a little fact you guys might want to know about canoes.
Nice.
Yeah, it was amazing and hotter than any place I've ever been.
Really? Yeah, I'm sure.
So hot.
Are you
and
like
then to be like by the equator, right, where sun rose at 6:15, sunset at 6:15.
Yeah.
It is 12 hours, never ending.
Wow.
Hot,
never
beautiful. It was
changes.
really
Did
fun.
you? So you come from the same horrible white skin origins that I do. I found that when I was down near the equator in Cancun, I would get sunburn just in the shade. It didn't matter if I was in the sun or not. I just would sunburn from like radiation coming from all around me. So how did you fare that way? And by
Yeah,
fare,
what we did,
Yeah.
this is very funny, is we bought 70 SPF. And then, whereas we were really careful, like we did not want to ruin this by being stupid and burnt, right?
Yeah.
And then we bought a giant bottle of aloe because we figured it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And then hilariously, we did not burn at all and came home the same freaking white color we've always been.
Yeah.
And left our giant bottle there for whatever dumb white people don't put sunscreen on. But
Which-
it was, yeah, it was interesting. Like, yeah, it was beautiful. I have to say, my favorite part about the whole thing was never once thinking about if my kids were okay because Kim did such an amazing job. Oh my
that's
gosh.
great. It's perfect.
Yeah,
That's what
she-
you want.
Truly.
She enjoyed it. She had a great time with them, and
She was
yeah.
she made muffins for my neighbor.
Yeah.
She it was so great. And my kids, I asked them like, oh, how was the food? And Elliot about passed out. Just, he was in heaven all week having her cook. And she was awesome. That was so helpful to, like you just don't have to worry. And so we could really, really relax. It was great.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you guys got to, and she had a great time with the kids.
Thank
She
you.
doesn't get to spend
Thank you
as
for
much
sharing her.
having you guys far away. It makes it hard for that kind of bonding. But I think now they have a new favorite aunt, and I think that worked out great. So
Yeah, it was really fun.
Everybody
How
wins.
did you fare? Were you
Oh,
okay?
it's terrible. I had an awful time.
You really did. Yeah.
I ate like
so
crap.
sorry.
I ate like crap. I was grumpy. It's just not a great week. But we were willing to to be a part of that sacrifice, and it was totally fun.
That is very sweet. It was the best week of my life, worst of yours. I'm so sorry.
That's how it goes. Well, no worries. It's good to have you here. Happy Halloween. before we get into today's subject, do you have big plans for the Halloween deal tonight? Or what are you doing?
This is exciting. This will be my first Halloween where everyone is at a party or off with friends, and it's just us. And I need a movie recommendation. That's actually why I'm here today. I will actually get to sit and watch a Halloween movie and answer the door probably 12 times. It's usually not busier than that, but.
How dark and scary?
I've never done this ever.
How dark and scary do you want? What do you want?
I can go to sleep at 10.
You want a thriller, but not a like.
I don't need slashy gore stuff. No, just something fun.
Woman of the Hour might be good. The serial killer who goes on the dating game.
It's based on a real story. Based on a true story.
Based on a true story. Yep.
So that'll take you close to the reality if you want that. If you want, I always recommend Barbarian from 2022 because it blew my mind and surprised me and didn't expect what I saw. But there are
Barbarian?
Yeah, Barbarian's awesome.
Yeah.
No, it's not like Barbarian, like a guy with an axe and muscles, not like that.
Okay.
It's
Barbarian 2022.
Yeah,
okay.
It's actually the name of the street. The whole thing takes place. That's not a spoiler to know that.
And the first part of the name anagrams to Airbnb or something. There's
something like that.
Yeah.
I love that movie because it took all the usual expectations you have for what that thing is supposed to be, and it changes it. And I just nothing but wild respect for that movie. There are a couple of moments of like, gory couple of moments, but nothing too crazy. It's not the worst thing. I think you'd do well with it, personally.
Okay.
That's a good one.
So there's our recommendations. And then, if all else fails, the Muppets
Haunted Mansion. Muppet Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Charlie Brown's The Great Pumpkin.
Sure.
Late Night, would you recommend Late Night with the Devil? You already said... Yeah, you already said not to watch that in the dark.
Our kid recommended that. He's like, you got to see it. It's so good.
It's pretty good.
It's really, really good.
It's really good. It's very different, and that's what I think makes it good because it doesn't have a lot of built-in expectations for it. I struggled with the first half, but it's for dumb reasons that I don't even have to get into. But I think it got crazy, and then it got real good, and by the end, it was a big recommendation. So that might be worth
Late Night.
out.
What is it called again?
Late Night with the Devil.
Late Night with the Devil.
Currently showing on, where did I watch it? Hulu.
Okay.
So pretty available. Actually, I watched it via Disney Plus, which makes me laugh because
I love that.
Yeah, I love how that combines those two things. Well, anyway, let's get to today's message. This is from...
Thanks for that.
No problem. We got something from... He didn't say we could use his name or not. I'll err on the side of no. So we'll just say this is SC or SD who sent this in. And says, this is regarding Wendy's segment from August 29th and first responders. We talked a bunch about that and what that does to somebody. I was in Leo in New Jersey for 26 years. Leo, I think, is short for something.
Law enforcement officer.
Oh, okay. There you go. I've never seen that before. Whoops. Killed the camera. There we go. Anyway, retired as a captain, and while not as busy, that busy of a department, we got our share of traumatic events. And because of the way, EMS and fire services work in our area, mostly volunteer, police are usually first on scene and cross-trained to start whatever treatment is required. After a few years, I found that I would go into an automatic mode, as Scott has mentioned in the past, and sometimes whatever horrific thing I was seeing didn't register until well after we were cleared. I'm also a recovering alcoholic, 36 years, thank you, that's awesome. And I'm not sure if that is related. New Jersey and most northern states do offer help for first responders to help deal with these situations, but some of us fall right through the cracks. I want to thank you guys and Wendy and her colleagues for getting the mental health issue in this country out of the dark ages. We desperately need more people to understand it's not demons or weakness that is the problem, it's ignorance. Been a listener since pretty much the start. Love you guys and our community. Sorry if I was rambling. I have some long COVID issues. The brain fog is near the top. Stay safe. Can confirm. That was the worst part of my last one.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Anyway, so we asked for follow-ups, and we got this. And it adds some context to somebody on the ground who's gone through this. And I do think the one part is interesting. His status as a recovering alcoholic, and whether that contributed to that. That's always been interesting to me. Like I don't know, like alcoholism, I've always been told is more genetic than anything. Your tendency to either glom on to alcohol and then really integrate it into your life is usually a genetic tendency. But I have to think environment plays a huge role there. So anyway, as far as all of this,
that
yeah, go ahead.
That Nicolas Cage movie where he's an EMT and turns to drinking and drugs and stuff like that. Can't remember what that was called.
Oh, I don't know what that is. I was thinking of Leaving Las Vegas. Obviously, that's not it.
Yeah, very different role.
Different alcohol reasons, I guess. But
thank you, TV's Travis. Bringing Out the Dead. Yeah.
Oh, I never saw that. Is that good? Is that worth seeing?
It is good. It's a hard watch. It is not your typical Nicolas Cage film.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so Wendy, what angle do you want to go at this one as a follow up to a similar discussion?
Yeah. Well, first, thanks for the follow up. That's really cool. And let me just speak real quick to your alcoholism is genetic.
Yeah.
Thing, and about 50% of the alcoholism can be attributed to genetics. So that's high, right? You're not going to find that probably with most, but like twin studies, we know quite a bit about. You can be identical twins raised in different environments are going to share the same genes, right? Yeah. We'll find alcoholism there more than fraternal twins, even in the same environment, right? So you can have all sorts of different things going on. Right. I think also you and I grew up in a home where our dad basically told us he was an alcoholic, though he didn't drink alcohol. Mm-hmm. Because he felt like any substance felt very addictive to him, or he had a really high response. And yeah. I've heard other people's parents do that to like scare the kid, like you're a grandpa, to scare him away or something. I think Dad was being genuine, like he would get buzzed from Advil.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think he was like, guys, let's just not do this.
He would tell us
trust.
He would tell us this stuff, and I'd kind of roll my eyes as a teen, but then he would hurt his back or something, and they'd give him slightly harder than Tylenol and ibuprofen to deal with it, and he would send him for a loop. It just didn't react well to it, or he was just hypersensitive to it. And what I always wondered though was that it seemed like he had an advantage in that he didn't like how it made him feel.
Yeah,
and that feels counterintuitive to if you're predisposed to addiction.
And it feels good.
Yeah, you think that's how you would get down the bad path, but he seemed to be, it would repel him to feel that way.
Yeah, he didn't like feeling out of sorts that way, right? And I think so maybe there's another gene that's like, also, when you metabolize this, you'll feel funky and you won't like it. I don't know. But when I read the follow-up email and it said, recovering alcoholic 36 years, which is amazing, way to go. Not sure it was related. I would just immediately assume it's related. And that's because that environment would put anybody at risk, genetic wise or not, because of the very fact we're talking about is that you can feel escape from dull, all the good things alcohol provides for a fun Friday night. You start needing that, every single day to get through the day, and sober becomes more and more painful because of any psychological damage that has happened by witnessing what you witness. So, you just see a lot of humanity, right? Yeah. And even the not busy department. I think a busy department, you're probably actually seeing so much of it. There's a rhythm to it. I think I've mentioned this before, but I worked with a couple of ER doctors for a while. I had a slew of people in that industry, and all of them, had such high tolerance for adrenaline and cortisol that sometimes it was hard for them to have fun when they had time off. And so they do things like, that flying, I forget what it's called, where they wear those suits that are like flying. They would do that on the weekend, or do some crazy roller coasters, or just try to, because their system was so acclimated to this intensity. I wonder sometimes even an experience where randomly you're experiencing really horrific things or violence versus a more consistent stream would still be very traumatic, and in fact potentially more so in an acute sense, right? And so that's real. Whenever you're dealing with human beings in their suffering, or in, this is a generic word I'm using, I don't mean everyone, but in their psychosis, which is a place anyone can get to with certain extremes, let alone legitimately having mental health, issues. we can all be maybe not at our best. And that is when you're primarily interacting with people can really take a toll on feeling trust, right? Feeling trust in the community you live in or with just people, sort of being ready for anything all the time. So it really does put you in a state of hypervigilance. And that state in our nervous system is really hard on us and hard as it's to sustain. And if we're not truly relaxing or truly sort of getting out of that, we're not built to do that very well. So we have to survive it. So alcoholism, one form. Someone else might use other addictive kind of behaviors, like actually working out as excessively and obsessively is another form of an addiction that can help treat things that way, right? We think maybe that's less damaging, but it's still the same concept.
Right.
So there's lots of versions of that. So I would automatically think this might be connected. And it's interesting. If I had any follow-up question, it would be, so how did you get sober and how are you maintaining your 36 years? Like, are you using AA? What, techniques are you using? Congratulations. That's amazing. And
That's
also,
huge. Yeah.
also, how do you pull that off and never maybe have seen that it's connected to your work and maybe it's not and you're fine. And that's not it. I don't know. But often I always wonder sort of like, how do you keep that going without some of that maybe inside's interesting. So maybe you don't need it. And that's
don't.
great.
Yeah, we don't. We get some years, but we don't get a timeline as when he stopped drinking. If he was,
right.
I mean, we know 26 years for law enforcement in New Jersey and 36 years recovering. So he might have stopped before he was a law enforcement.
Maybe it's some crossover. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I met somebody in Curacao who was a retired police officer in Florida, and she had just I retired and I had to be here. And now she just does scuba diving. And I'm like, have you just taken your intensity and moved it to scuba diving? She's like, absolutely.
I assume she's probably really seen some stuff, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, she has. And she still seems so young. I was like, well, wow. Okay. But she'd been there for a good amount of time and found just the peaceful slowness of the island. And, if you travel anywhere in the world, you're going to find a couple of Americans who are, real sunburned and now living on a beach somewhere just to recover from
process
pretty hard life. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's more affordable or sometimes it's just I need a different pace in a different world. And anyway, so it was fun talking to, we met a few of them. But yeah, this is a real sacrifice. I think sometimes when we honor first responders in various ways, I sometimes just think, I don't know if we really get what we're saying. And it's not until you interact with them directly and they save your life or, come and do the good deed and run towards the fire while we're all running away from the fire, do we maybe really recognize the level of sacrifice emotionally and psychologically that is, it's pretty incredible.
We do a lot of word salad, I think, for these people and don't really understand it. Like it's easy to just say, right. It's like the people in the military tell me it annoys them when people thank them for their service. And it's because it's not that they don't want to be appreciated for the things they do and have done and will do. It's that it comes off as just sounding like a standard rote thing that nobody's put any thought into. And that's just all they know how to say, which also I have some sympathy for people who are trying to articulate what they mean. And sometimes you have a rote saying in your head that's what you say to people. And so it's complicated, I know, but it reminds me of that a little bit,
Yeah, and I was joking with someone the other day about if I was president, what I would do, and my 2 requirements. This is a really sad platform. No one would vote for me. But one is that everyone is forced to travel for 3 weeks before they can graduate from high school, and it's paid for. And I will. That'll be my main budget priority. Figure out how to do that, so that just you can see the world's bigger and smaller and. People are great everywhere and, but they can't, it's not like Paris. I'm not sending people to Paris. I'm sending people to little towns and
you want perspective.
Fun, cool places.
Yeah, you want to build
just
perspective.
While you're young.
Yeah.
While you're young and your brain is open and you can feel what it's like to not know a language and you can eat funny food and like just all the cool stuff that comes there. So that's one. My other one is that we start honoring teachers for airplanes and they get to board first as well.
Yeah, that'd be
military
great.
And teachers.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's a different kind of war that those teachers are fighting. And I just
on a
really,
daily basis.
Yeah.
Especially if they're like middle school teachers, they should be able to fly the plane. I mean, honestly, you can sit wherever you want. That's the hardest job I think in the world.
Yeah,
for sure.
Anyway, so love that he's done all that. I want to say one other thing just about addiction. I know I've talked about this before, but I haven't brought up in a while, so I'm gonna repeat it because we've got this genetic component and then we have the what's going on in your life component. And so like, for example, we study rats and mice to, get as close to humans in certain things we can't obviously pull off with humans. But one of my favorite studies is the rat park study where they take these rats and they take them, isolate them. They're in just boxes with nothing to do. And then they offer them morphine water. And essentially what they'll do is just click on the button that gives them morphine water until they die. And they'll then do it if you shock them and offer them morphine water every time they take them, they'll still do it. They'll still shock themselves to get the morphine water, right? But then and so you think, wow, it's just so addictive. Morphine's just so addictive because it is, right? And then what you do is a researcher in the late 70s, early 80s created Rat Park. And Rat Park is like fun stuff, lots of friends. Rats are incredibly social, right? So tons of friends, sex whenever they want, beautiful views, lots of food, everything they would ever need. And essentially what they found is these rats would come use the morphine water like on the weekends.
Yeah. I remember reading about this, yeah.
But never to death and never, if there's pain, they would stop, like when other needs are being met. So we've thought of addiction so long as this from a medical perspective that it is a genetic disorder, it is a disease, it is, and for many people recovering, that's very valuable for them to think of it that way. So I don't want to detract from what works for different folks. But we have needed other addiction treatment models because the higher power 12 steps doesn't work for everyone, even though it works for a lot of people. It's great. Really, the big factor that helps it work so much is the social support, the honesty, the recognizing you're powerless in the face of it. And so, sort of keeping certain things, working with the different 12 steps that are like, honoring lots of different things about your own life, rectifying what you need to, there's a lot of good stuff in there. But a huge factor in addictive behavior is isolation. And that's a little chicken and the egg, but isolation, not having your other emotional, social, mental needs met can be that way. So I always tell people like, let's look at your park, right? Before we condemn you for being a bad person, because that has been historically just what weak folks do, or
that's what the original. This is so double edged because the old stigmas were the worst stigmas, where it was just like you're a bad person, therefore you're in drugs, or you're doing drugs, or you're drinking because you're terrible, or because you grew up bad, or your parents suck, or all of these labels that society applied to you because we didn't know any better. And then we swing into a more medical perspective of, well, turns out it's kind of genetic, and your dad's dad, and everybody kind of led to this, and that's why you're this. That's helpful, right? That's progress. But then maybe it's a little too tidy. You know what I mean? Like you've gone so far with like, well, it's all medical, and then we stop paying attention to what other factors might be there, like this rat situation you were describing. Then we have to adjust a little bit, and society sucks at that. We're bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and holistic view of a human being takes more effort and more brain cells for us to do when we're operating with any other person, right? So, if you see someone as unifaceted, they are this because this is their stance on this or that, right? I can pull pull everything away from you being a complex human being who also loves and eats and gets sick sometimes. If I can move from that and see you as one thing, you're just the worst, you're the devil, you're the whatever, then our brain doesn't have to use very many cells for that. Like, it's like, ooh, reserve energy by just hating that person based on the color of their skin or their accent or where they come from or whatever, right? And because the brain is always looking for efficiencies, and that's one way it does it. And so to slow down, to see a broader perspective and see a person as a whole thing, it's way more expensive. Think about treating a mental disorder in a test tube. It's going to cost this much money. Here's the medicine, do this thing.
Yeah.
Treating a whole person is like, how is your sleeping situation? Who are the people you interact with in your life? What kind of food are you eating? Like, you're looking at, I'll call it just the best form of this, of just like mother energy, right? Of like, you got everything you need? No? Well, let's work to get you all those things you need. That's expensive, time consuming. It's not very capitalist friendly. Let's say that.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Like that's the antithesis of capitalism. And I don't mean like, let's all become pinkos because we need to make that work. It's just, you have to look at these things in a nuanced way, or else what are we doing? It's just not that simple.
Right.
I wish it was that simple. It'd be great. It's like,
it would be great.
Yeah. I'm hooked on fentanyl. Do A, B, and C. So there, ta-da, you're cured. It doesn't work that way. There's so much more to it. So, yeah. Well, that's good to know and understand a little bit better. And also, I don't know, this email in particular helped me have just a better, it's not even that expansive of an email. I didn't really get into specifics or anything, but it really helped me see through the eyes of an EMT or a first responder more than we've gotten in other feedback about this thing. So I really appreciate him doing that. Being willing to put himself out there a little bit. So that was great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Wendy, as we hurtle through the fall, the end of fall and the beginning of winter and all the family get-togethers and the illnesses and all the other stuff that's fun about this time of year. Do you have any advice for us until we see you again?
Well, I mean, I don't know what's happening next week, but I'm sure not much for most Americans. I think it's fine. Everybody's fine.
Yeah, next week's a real slow.
I'm thinking about starting drinking, really taking up drinking heavily over the next few days.
This might be the time. I'll be the rat sucking on the freaking fentanyl hose next week.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's we're all gonna need our morphine drips. I think I have a little advice on that. That I'm gonna take myself, and it really is just just stop watching the train wreck until you have to, or whatever it is that is like really stressing you out. This is really common. I don't have a single call with a single client who is not having election anxiety to some form. And these are people in other countries who are like, what's going to happen over there? People are nervous. And so it's a tendency, again, of our brains to want to feel like the information you're going to get will somehow allay the fear. That's what information gathering is. That's what reading the news is. That is talking to your neighbor to find out why there's a ambulance at the other neighbors, right? You want information so you can feel more in control. And that is really normal, right? Problem is it doesn't work that way. We don't actually get any information that gives us a sense of control fully. What we do is get in our echo chambers and only hear maybe what we want to hear. And then that is this illusion of we're safer, I'm in control. So I would love to challenge people to try something that's really the opposite of what your brain is asking you for. And that is to give your brain what it might actually need. Think of it as like a toddler who's like, I just want candy for dinner. And you're like, how about this delicious soup and some warm bread and a Snickers bar? By the way, Snickers was named after a horse, in case anyone's wondering. Horse named Snickers. I know a bunch of candy facts that are really dumb.
What was the horse's name? You beat me to it.
And so our brains want candy for dinner, and what we want to give our brains instead is the opposite of candy for dinner, something that is actually like a Halloween movie, something soothing, or something like check in with a friend and make a promise not to talk about politics, or go on a nice nature walk, or just turn off your freaking phone, like, and have an evening where you listen to your favorite music. Just treat your brain to some nutrition that it is really going to just keep begging for more news that never makes it feel good. I know this sounds like, well, am I giving up? I'm supposed, like, your attention's really helping. It's not, trust me. If you want to help, go canvas somewhere, right? But you're not going to do that. So instead, give your brain a little break. Just try it. Just see if you're feeling like really ramped up one day, stop and look at what you just did to get there. And if you woke up that way, well, then you need to call your therapist, right? Because this is pretty far down the road for you. But just know you're not alone. And really just reading more is not going to give you any relief at all, but connecting with yourself, with nature, with people. And, we'll see when it all comes down, when we can actually have real news about something. You know what I mean? I'm not saying bury your head in the sand for life, but we need to sort of keep everyone a little sane.
Yeah. Maybe a little temporary hole in the sand.
Yeah,
just a little
temporary.
Yeah, nice.
Off of X, formerly known as Twitter, off of Facebook.
Just make a tiny hole. Put your head in that tiny hole for a few days. And by hole, we don't mean have other people you love in the hole with you. You're all in the hole together.
Paint something. Pick up a little tiny plastic minifigure that you've been looking at for years and paint it.
Yeah.
Paint it and listen to like an old episode of something. I mean, people have comfort shows for a reason. It represents so much more simple vibes or whatever. Like I've been telling everyone I can talk to, if you have a comfort food, go get it now. Eat it now. Take all of the crap away from, I shouldn't eat this. No, if this is especially from your home, it feels like love. Maybe it's your own culture's food. Just go get some. Let's all eat our comfort food and treat ourselves gently. And we'll see how things go.
Yeah, we'll see how things go. Because next week when we talk, we'll know where we're at. Right?
Well, we will sort of know. I have talked to 3 people in DC, and all 3 of them said, please tell everyone you know that we'll know nothing for a month or 2. And I'm like, okay.
Well, that's true.
Actually, it's great. Level set.
We may know. What I hope we know is something that I hope we know. But if we don't know, then maybe that little hole, you can keep it warm for another few days. All right.
Yeah. Keep that hole warm.
Yeah. Keep your hole warm, everybody. That's the name. Keep your hole warm. Oh, trust me, someone will make that a title and try to get us to use it.
Good luck with that.
Wendy, it's good to have you here. Always nice to talk to you. Have a great Halloween today.
Yes.
Is Peter doing something weird? That's the only other question I had.
Always. Yeah. I don't know. He's always. I don't know that kid.
Kim loved watching him.
I do have to say this. Wait, what'd you say?
Kim loved watching him like tear. She was like, his room's full of like electronics he gets to tear apart and stuff like that.
Terrible.
She loved that about him. She thought that was so cool. He's like a little nerd.
Only Kim. By the way, when we wrote up our will real quick, we had a will, but we needed to update a couple things where it's just like Kim is taking Pete. So in case you're wondering, if something happens to us, you guys have to raise him.
We're raising Pete. Okay, fantastic. That sounds good. I really like Pete, so it's not a bad deal. We'll take it.
Yeah. He's you, but worse.
Yeah, okay. He's me, but you, but worse. That's wonderful. That's a great thing you want to hear. All right, everybody, or Wendy, as in everybody, have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks, Wendy.
All right, that was great. Now, Brian, we're down to the wire here. We're down to the nitty and the gritty. I assume there's a Coverville today. Maybe not. It's Halloween. I don't know.
There is. And doing something completely not Halloween related today. Just got to take a break from it. So covers of Daryl Hall of the band Low and the band Ween. So Hall & Oates. Yeah. So Daryl Hall, Low, Ween. Tune in for Coverville at noon.
Nice. Ween is was in that concert I told you about, the South Park concert.
They were the South Park concert. Big connection to South Park, those guys.
Yeah.
And
love
and
that.
A SpongeBob SquarePants for some strange reason.
Oh, weird. All right.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. Yeah. That's crazy. So I didn't mean to do this, but we'll have some counter programming today.
I know you're going to be coring at the same time. I figured you would be, so whatever.
Yeah, it's the whole, we had to do it before tonight because everybody's got stuff tonight. So we were going to do it at noon also. Today is core, and it's all the core things you expect from
I'll
Corey.
enjoy seeing the 3 people that accidentally don't hear about this and make their way over to Coverville.
It might be. You never know. It might be the other way.
No,
we'll have to see.
I'm kidding. I have some folks who come to the show, come to Coverville that are in the otherwise in the Frog Pants world. So
there you go. Get your music on. Get your gaming on. Either way, we got you covered.
That's right.
So those are on. Also, Film Sack this weekend. We did a roundtable about spy movies. Very excited to bring people that. So watch for that coming this weekend, and various other shows here and there will pop up into your timeline. So check that out. And a new Monday show went up last night on a Wednesday, which makes no sense, but we did it. Yeah, it was fun.
I gotta check it out. I like the YouTube on that one. That's one I like to watch on the.
That one's a fun one.
Tube.
Yeah, and you get to see Carter's Furiosa outfit. It was pretty good.
Great.
I did wear a hat. I wore a Finn from
Adventure Time.
Adventure Time. I wore one of those with the 2 little doobies sticking out the top and stuff. So
it's Carter's hat, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hers. She gave it to me. I did no effort, really.
Yeah.
That's how I do it on Halloween.
You are dressing up when you hand out candy tonight, I hope.
Oh yeah,
like
something. It'll be something, but it'll probably be a wig and another hat. Probably.
Okay.
Nothing crazy, Brian. Nothing crazy. That is it for us. Thank you for listening. Frogpants.com/TMS for all the things you might need. Brian, let's do a request and end this today.
Yeah. Jason S. wrote in, said, "Hi, Spooky and Boo. I'm hoping you can play a ghost song for Halloween. If you have ghosts, seems like a good choice for the day. And if you already have a request for that day, any other day that you have a free spot would be great. Appreciate the spectacle anyway." Signed, Jason S. Doubling up your ghost song for the closing show here for Halloween. It is the band Ghost from the album Infestissimum Redux, with a cover of the song originally by Roki Erickson, If You Have Ghosts.
All right, patrons, we'll see you on Friday. Everybody else, we'll see you on Monday. Take care.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Yes. Get more at frogpants.com.
Bye.
It's an old favorite Brian sound.
Clap.